Okay, I'm just getting set up here on my computer. Give everyone a minute to find me. Oh, I forgot my earbuds again today. Hopefully the sound will be all right. So, welcome to Facebook Live with Christy Hillock. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Salt Lake City, Utah. Oh, and I need to mute my computer. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay, sorry, lost my train of thought. I'm a demonstrator in Salt Lake City. My business is CJ Card Creations. If you are a returning visitor, thank you so much for coming back. And if you are new to me, I'm so glad you're here. Either way, if you're catching me live or if you're watching me on the replay, I really appreciate you being here. And I hope that you will comment and hang out with me and just enjoy the projects tonight. Hey Aunt Pat, how are you? It's good to see you. Tonight we are actually doing focus on paper pumpkin. So at the end of each month I do an alternate project for whatever the month's paper pumpkin was. So this month the kit was called Expressions in Color, and it came in this beautiful box, and the reason it was called Expressions in Color is because it goes with the Expressions in Ink suite in the annual catalog. So, I mean, the box being pretty is bonus. I don't know. I use the boxes, I flip them inside out and then ship other things in them. So they're really nice sized for that. I don't know that anybody cares that they're pretty when they get them like that, but anyway, so inside, let's see, this was not actually included. You guys would be so proud of me. After last week, I decided that I needed to be somewhat more prepared. And so I did everything yesterday, and now I can't remember what I did. So we'll see how this goes. But the first thing that I wanted to show you was, and I'll talk more later about other things, but we're just going to get started on the project today. So these are the cards that the kit actually had designed for you, and they're beautiful. They were fun to put together. Not a ton of stamping except on this one, and this kit was special because it did include 2 ink spots rather than the usual 1, and then it always includes an exclusive stamp set as well, which I set off to the side. But if you look, there's great sentiments, congrats, thanks, you're amazing, sending hugs, and then these pretty flowers and foliage and things. So very nice stamps. You could use those for all sorts of things. And then it included this flyer about the coordinating products, and so this is a picture of the designer series paper that went with it, and it is really, really pretty, and it's specialty paper because it has gold foiling on one side of each piece, if that makes sense. So that is that, and let's see what else we've got in here. This is the instructions that come in the kit, and they have recently gotten so much better. So the first little section here shows you what you need for each card, and then you open it up and each page is one card, and it's in detail, step by step, what you need to do, what color and everything. So I just think that these are really handy. It also includes a nice ruler. So sorry, I just had a message pop up that threw me off again. Anyway, the nice ruler is great for cutting your ribbon and twine and everything. So that is that. And let's see. As one of my subscribers, I make 4 alternates each month, and then I send an email out to my subscribers. And so it's kind of just an added bonus for subscribing with me. Sometimes it's 3D projects, but usually it's cards because I don't think spatially very well, and I also don't give presents very often. So I actually have a room full of 3D projects that I've made and then not known what to do with. So, you know, they're fun sometimes, but I really don't, like I said, I don't give away a lot of things. So, let's see. I did do a couple of different techniques with coloring with this, with my alternates. So this one I used sponge daubers on the actual stamp to get the 2 different colors on this watercolor stamp. And then I also used blending brushes on some of the vellum, so that was fun. And then one other thing that I did was pull in our little note cards. You can order packs of small and large note cards together. I think this is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then the others are 4 by 6. So don't quote me, but I think that's what it is. So the note cards are really handy just to have ready to go. They include the envelopes and everything. This is just the paper pumpkin flyer. So it shows you some different kits from the past, and talks about how you can sign up in a month-to-month subscription or do prepaid subscriptions where you buy 1, 3, 6, or 12 months. And the prepaid you can also give as gifts, which is really nice. So I think that is it for information about Paper Pumpkin. If you do decide you'd like to sign up, there is a link in the description of this video. So I would certainly love your business and love to start sending you some other designs as well. This is the one that we are going to make today. So just gonna set that up there so that I remember what I'm supposed to be doing. So what I did, this is just a basic white thick card base that I pulled from my stash. And then all the rest of this was from the kit itself. So this started out as a card base that had a fresh freesia back on it. And so I just cut down the score line and then shrunk this a little bit so that it would fit better on the card, have a little matte border around there. And then I took the fresh freesia side, and actually I ran out of that piece, but I had some of the actual cardstock in my supplies as well. And so I took this and cut it down. I want to say it's 3 by 4 1/4, but it's in the description as well. So this I then ran through our new bark 3D folder, and it just gives such gorgeous texture without making you pay a lot of attention to the design, I guess is a good way of putting it. So I've really been liking this folder. So then what I did, I took this vellum, and it's, I don't know, I kind of think it feels the same on both sides. There's a little bit of a ridge on one side of it though. So we are going to take the daubers, and I don't think that it really matters which side you go with. The ink spots that came with this were Bumblebee and Evening Evergreen. And I'm just using my full size because I have them and they're easier for me to deal with. And then I also pulled in 2 other new ink colors, which are Polished Pink and Fresh Freesia. And I have my little daubers here. And interestingly, I have 3 daubers in 4 colors, so it would be nice if I remembered what I did, but I don't. So give me just a second to pull another dauber. Well, you just never know what's going to happen. I try really hard to be so ready. And so this one actually looks blue, but it's going to be yellow and we're going to be just fine. So we will start with Bumblebee on the largest flower here. And so once I've inked it up, I always like to come off with just that initial bit of ink and then just go on the vellum just on that largest flower. This is kind of a watercolory look, so it really doesn't matter if you don't stay in the lines or, you know, that kind of thing. You just want to get the color down. So that makes me happy on the yellow. These daubers, you can wash them and reuse them, and they do stain, but again, the color is not going to bleed onto your next project, so they are really very handy. So here is our evening evergreen, and I'm pretty sure I used the blue for that, so just inking it up a little bit. And then again, just getting rid of a little of that ink. And this is a really dark color, but it is stunning. So I'm just going to really lightly add this here to where it's just the foliage bits. So can you guys believe that June is just about over? I feel like it's been so unbelievably hot here in Utah that I haven't enjoyed June at all. I had hikes planned with my kids and all sorts of things, and I just can barely go outside. So, hey Janie. So yeah, we had rain today and it was lovely, and thunder, which my son helpfully pointed out that now we'll probably have wildfires. So, you know, there's always a downside, but it was really nice to listen to and just kind of reset the mood. We were able to go for a walk as a family this evening, and we haven't done that in a while because of the heat. So I think all the rest of my family is a lot tougher than I am. I'm a total weenie about heat and cold. So there's that. And then I came upstairs a little bit ago and said the house felt muggy because we've got the windows open, and I still think it feels muggy, but he just told me that I need to set some more realistic expectations. So I'm taking the polished pink here, and I'm just going to get these littler flowers. And there are two over here. And I did not dab it off that time, and you really can't tell. But sometimes you end up with a big mushy smear spot that doesn't look as nice as you might have wanted. So thank you all for sharing. I really appreciate that. It helps me so much and definitely makes me feel loved. So thank you. All right, last one is this fresh Freesia. And I have heard people saying Freesia and Freesia, and I haven't bothered to look up which is correct, but I always thought it was Freesia. So if you have any ideas, you should tell me, because I don't want to be saying it wrong. So I think it's interesting hearing. I listen to different demonstrators across the country and actually across the world too, just to get different ideas and learn different techniques. And hearing different accents and different pronunciations is always kind of entertaining. So, all right, so that is done. Now, when I did this yesterday, it rolled up the edges a little bit, and this one maybe I didn't put down quite as much ink, but it doesn't look like it's going to do that, so we'll see what happens. So this is going to go just like that, but the color on there just adds so much. I think it's really gorgeous. So before I start sticking things down, I'm going to take some of the evening evergreen twine that was in here, and I don't know what my problem was yesterday. Usually bows are not an issue, and I could not tie a bow to save my life. So this sample ended up with a knot, but we are going to try for about 5 seconds to see if I can get a bow today. So if I hold my tongue just right, oh, it worked. Look at that, you guys. Must be my day. So, okay. Hey Mom, I did not see you pop on. It's funny, it doesn't show me who's watching unless you actually comment. So it's nice to see you pop up with comments. All right, I'm going to use just liquid adhesive to put these two layers on. With this bark being so textury, I do use a little bit more than I might otherwise, just to make sure that something sticks. So with that rain tonight, we were supposed to have a baseball game, and I was looking forward to it because it was only going to be, you know, 70 at the warmest, and they canceled it because of the rain, or I don't know. They canceled it at 3 o'clock, which seems a little early to be canceling a 5:30 game, and the rain was definitely over by 5:30. But, oh, thank you. So Freesia. So I wasn't wrong. That is very helpful. So kind of sad, kind of not sad. I mean, definitely I would have preferred to sit out in the cool than 100-degree heat. We had started off the season with all the 6:45 games, so at least the sun was down, and those were really nice. And now we have all the 5:30 games for the rest of the season, so today would have really just been much nicer. But our season ends right after we get back from a trip to Texas to see my parents, and I'm kind of glad, just because it takes a lot of time in the evenings, but it's also just crazy how fast things go. So now with vellum, adhesive can be kind of tricky because you don't want for it to show through, and it very easily can. So this embossed, this white embossed area is great, and hides some of your little glue dots, which is what I prefer to use. You could also do like Seal or Seal Plus if you wanted to go with a runner, adhesive runner. But either way, and since the glue dots are included with the kit, it's just nice to put them to use. So it doesn't take too much, but since this is a little bit bigger piece and I'm focusing pretty much just on the center of it, I want to put a couple extra. So let's see. I'm trying to think if there's been anything else interesting, but we really are so boring. We're having our porch rebuilt, which is hugely exciting for me because it opened up light into our basement. It's like a partly underground basement, so you certainly wouldn't ever use it as a shelter or anything, but you know, growing up in Texas, that is not what a basement was, so moving here, that was kind of an adjustment. All right, I think that's gonna hold. But anyway, ours had this weird concrete box over the top of it, and it just felt like we were in the dungeon, and I hated coming into the basement for anything ever. So it's really nice now that we can just enjoy light and feel like we're still part of the world. So it stays tons cooler in the summer, and then it's a little bit frigid in the winter, but that's okay. So because photopolymer stamps bend and I want this to be straight, I just set it on there, and now I'm going to grab a block to pick up. Sorry. So the other downside of having gotten ready yesterday is that I also cleaned again, which makes it sound like I clean a lot, and I don't. But for whatever reason, my craft room continues to be picked up, which is nice for however long it lasts. But I just am having to actually go look for things where they belong instead of just scattered around on the surface I'm working on. So I am just going to stamp this in the Evening Evergreen. There we go. And set that aside so I don't forget to clean it. Okay, so now you can see this is starting to curl up a little bit. I still think that I got enough glue dots on there that it's going to be fine. But that is normal with inking the vellum. So if you do that, don't worry about it if it does curl a little. So now I'm going to put some dimensionals on here. And feeling generous, so we'll go ahead and put a third there. You all are so very quiet tonight. So this isn't quite centered, just because of where the bow ended up. And I guess I could maybe retie it to where it's shifted. My nails have gotten way too long, and it's driving me nuts. I grew up playing cello and having to always have my nails super short, and I certainly don't have a reason to keep them that short anymore, but it's just what I'm used to, and so these are awfully grown out for what I like. So I'm going to go this weekend and get them fixed up. I wanted to put it off as long as I could for the timing to be right for our trips. So we've got all sorts of things going on in July that are not necessarily at home. Jonah's got a basketball camp with his grandpa in southern Utah mid-July, so that should be fun. He went, I guess last year was his first year, and he really enjoyed it. Okay, so that is all put together. Now the other thing that came in this kit are these really pretty iridescent sequins, and they have the, you know, kind of the coordinating colors, but they're not overpowering. So I'm just going to pick a few of these to pop on here. And again, I'm going to work in threes. Let's see, I feel like maybe this guy just needs that. Okay, so that is my card for tonight. So I hope you like it. Again, likes and shares and all of those good things really help me and make me feel like this is worth doing. So I appreciate it. So if you liked this project and the standard projects that came with the paper pumpkin kit, let me tell you about, oh, thank you guys. Let me tell you about next month's kit. It is called The Adventure Begins, and it looks like it's a really summery, outdoorsy kit. It makes 12 cards. It comes again with a coordinating ink spot and an exclusive stamp set. And it says it's inspirational sentiments and adventure-themed imagery. It's got really beautiful colors that are pretty nature-based, not so much on the pinks and purples and that kind of thing. And then it's got a new technique that's kind of layering, but easy is what it says. So, or accessible. So I certainly hope that you will consider signing up for that. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. And let's see, free shipping today. So if you have anything that you needed to order and you haven't already gotten it done, you better get it done before midnight Mountain Time. So that's super nice of Stampin' Up. They very rarely give us free shipping, so you can bet I put an order in this morning, so that was good. And then the mini catalog retires next week on Wednesday. Wednesday's the last day. So there are still a few things that are discounted that you can get if you've been holding out for it. And then last week, Julie O'Neill won cards for sharing. And so I got those to her. And this week I drew Donner, and she had just joined us for the first time last week. So Donner, if you're watching, please PM me your mailing address so I can get these to you. And I do give a week to get that address to me. So I really appreciate you guys. I hope you have a lovely evening, and will join me again next week on Thursday at 7:30 Mountain Time. Okay, have a good night. Bye, guys.